Good evening, team, and welcome to I'd say a very punctual long run show tonight. Very on time. It was actually the fact that I was even in the green room before these lot, which is earth shattering. Actually, it's usually
miracles.
It's a miracle. That was the word. It was a miracle. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this award-winning, inspirational, I would say now, wouldn't you say, Beth? Inspirational podcast that we record live on a Friday night. And tonight we're going to be asking a very serious question. Do you have to run a marathon to be a runner? Question mark. Put your answers in the comments section if you're listening. And if you're not and you're on a podcast, on a run, imagine that. I want you to think about this out loud. So tonight, that's what we're going to talk about, amongst other things. I've got a crack team of assassins with me tonight. Coach Al's here between swims. He's down at the bottom getting ready for his swim the serpentine. Beth's up there with a light above her head, so she looks like she's got stage lights above her head. And the oldest man who can still run a marathon, young Hayden's here. Welcome, team. How are we all doing? Good?
Very good.
We're good.
You did a coordinated effort there. Well done. I appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to our first our sponsors, Skechers, Skechers.co.uk. I want to introduce you, and this isn't it, Hayden. I'm being serious, right? No, I am for one.
When you start these conversations, we know what way we're going to go.
Listen to this. They've got a pair of running shoes that have slip-on technology in them. So you don't have to bother. They've got laces and everything. So that, you know, the aero burst and all that sort of stuff. They've got a pair of slip-on ones. I've not tried them yet, but I know they're coming. But they've got so I was thinking, because I'm a cunning devil, they would be quite good to take to Chicago. Because when you're getting on and off the plane, you can slip them on, slip them off pretty easy. You can go and do like shakeout run and things like that. Oh, by the way, we've got to talk about that. And all that kind of stuff. But a slip-on running shoe, how cool would that be? It's quite good.
I like it. We have to joke in my house that I can run a marathon, but because my back's so screwed up, I can't even do my laces up.
This is what I'm asking you.
Perfect for me.
This is what I'm thinking. I might actually speak to Skechers and just get a whole delivery sent to your house of slip-on running shoes. I think it's genius. If it's true, it's genius because you don't have to do them up, technically, although they've got laces. Anyway, Al, can I tempt you in some Skechers slip-on?
Funny you should say that. I've had a week of highs and lows, and I'm now in the Hayden camp.
You got a bad back?
So the week started really well. I went shopping, and I bagged a pair of Say Sky 2-in-1 shorts, which are my favourite brand.
Yeah, we like them.
I got a Patagonia running cap.
Nice.
And a London Marathon 2022 jacket. So that was the last time I ran, but I never bought it, and I've had buyer's remorse ever since. How much do you think I got all that for?
Was this on Vinted?
It was on Vinted. I bagged that all for £50.
That's
so
a bargain, that.
I started the week pretty good. It reached a peak on Wednesday. Some of you might know my daughter's been in America, Camp America, since June. And the last 3 weeks she's been traveling round. And I've been catching up with her at various locations as she hit San Francisco. So I happened to mention that's on my bucket list for 2027 for running the marathon. So the response I got from her travel mates was, I am iconic. And I think they meant for someone so old still attempting to run marathons. But then again, it all came crashing down yesterday because for someone so old trying to bend down and pick up some rubbish off the kitchen floor, I put my back out.
There you go. He needs to sketch your slip-ons. Beth,
the highs and lows of being an elite older athlete, a master athlete.
Beth, you're a young elite athlete, but with a bad back, can I tempt you into some sketchy slip-ons?
Probably could. I've seen this is probably going to sound really bad, but my nana and granddad have sketches slip-ons.
They do running shoes for you as well.
Yeah, exactly. I could join the crew. Could
That's
join
what I'm
the
saying.
crew.
You get involved. This is important.
Yeah.
Right. So I saw that. That's a great ad. They're going to love us for that advert. Actually,
Yeah.
I wasn't actually intended. It's just the fact that I was thinking of Hayden and his back. But actually, another thing. Before I mention the shakeout runs, firstly, I just want to say a personal thanks to last week's pod. I shared something with everybody about a tragedy that I witnessed, but I got some really nice messages from everybody. So thanks very much. And how cool is this, right? On Wednesday, when I went down to the train station to go to work, the Samaritans were there, handing out leaflets and stuff to all the commuters and that. They were kind enough to message me on Instagram because obviously we gave them a shout out. But they'd actually, the local Samaritans group were down there. So giving out leaflets and stuff like that. So how cool is that? So hopefully they would have helped somebody, even if it's just one person. So from what I put out, Samaritans saw that, boom, boom, boom. There you go. How good's that? What a great story, yeah? Out of
Really
something so tragic, might have helped one person. How cool's that, right? Anyway, so moving on. I just want to give a pre-warning to everybody who's in Newcastle for next week, right? I'm going to apologise now. If you're looking to do any shopping down the high street, right, in Newcastle next Saturday, I would strongly recommend that you do that before 12 o'clock or after 1 o'clock. Anywhere in between there, you've got yourself to blame. All right. I'm just, is that fair to say?
I think it's a warning that needs to be put out there, but it might need to be publicised a bit more.
Could be carnage at about 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the middle of Newcastle. We've got the world's greatest, longest, biggest shakeout run coming your way. And all hell is going to break loose with that. We've then got the live pod in the pub. What could possibly go wrong? Because Kieran would have probably had, 10 pints by then? So what could possibly go wrong with that? So, yeah, you've got that pre-warned. And also, if you're coming to Chicago, I'm just doing this now because I want to get this out of the way. And we are talking about, by the way, tonight, do you need to run a marathon to call yourself a runner? Okay. Get in the comments if you're watching this live and put your thoughts on that. But we've got this Chicago sunrise run, and it's open to everybody, right? We're not particularly precious about these sort of things at all. But if you're going to Chicago or you're in the Chicago area and you want to come along, it's 6:30 a.m. from the Marriott downtown. But we found out this week, we've got a really cool additions that's going to be happening, or I don't know what the best way to say, Hayden, is giveaways.
Bonus
Goodie bags sort of stuff. We've been really blown away by somebody who's stepping in and really going to be looking after everybody basically. So if you're not onto that, I need to confirm numbers back to them. We've already got a lot of people booked onto that, but if you are on the fence or you're not sure what's going on, come along. All right. Again, you don't have to be a club member. You don't have to be with Sports Tours. You don't have to be a fan of Hayden or whatever. We don't care. Just come along. All right. It's going to be a really nice morning. So that's that. Right. Moving on, team. So here's the thing. Now, before we get into the main topic, I've got tomorrow a really big run to do. Right now, this is relevant. It doesn't matter for your 5K, 10K, half marathon. But for me in the marathon that I'm training for Chicago, tomorrow I've got this big goal paste run that's in there, right? And it's sitting in there and it's been looking at me all week. It's the only thing I could think about all week, okay? And I put it in. It's there, and it's it's a test, I would say. It's a test. Mentally, it's a test psychologically, physically, and it's that real sort of dress rehearsal and to find out where I'm at. It's training, the mind muscles and probably a little bit of my metabolism as well. But I'm just going to stress my body to find out where I'm at and to face some of those race day fears that I'm going to get, right? Now, some of you may ask, why? And as I said, just give you the reasons. But I think anybody who's marathon training, because we're coming into that peak season of it, now is the perfect time to do it. And you don't have to be doing necessarily what I'm doing, which is 16 miles of it. But this is that sort of better way to say it, 4 to 6 weeks out is the sort of perfect time to start sprinkling in some of that pace or start putting in these sort of runs, because it's you've done enough training to be able to take it, but you're far enough away from race day that you can sort of, recover from it and that kind of thing. It's that sort of mid to late phase within the marathon training block. Okay, I would say caveat to all of this, by the way, is if you are going to do this, I wouldn't say a light week, but I've stepped off of any of the speed sessions. I've not done any speed work leading up to this. I've eased off in the gym. I've given myself a full day of rest. Usually I'm doing something, but I've given myself a full, complete day of rest. So no gym, no running leading up to this, so I can make sure I'm in good shape. And likewise, next week for me is a slight step down in mileage. I'm going to go a little bit harder at the Great North Run, but it's so I can recover from the effort. Right. So I'm just, again, putting that out there for everybody. But I'll start with you, Al. Is this something, I know you're Hanson, all that sort of stuff, but in the blocks that you've done, and again, it can be half marathon training as well, is that something you've ever done or found it works for you?
I've probably done it in the context of building it into races in a training block. So, having the experience of race day along with the test or challenge of where's my fitness, where's my pace. So, yeah, it's as you say, I think, you describe it well. It's a chance to test yourself. I guess the caveat is if the wheels come off, just don't beat yourself up. You are still only 2/3 of the way through a training block. The training block is there to get you peaking on race day, not 4 to 6 weeks beforehand. Yeah. So I think it's about having that perspective on it as well. Yeah. See how far you can push yourself. Be ready to take your foot off the gas if it all gets a little bit difficult. And when you've kind of finished, have that reflection that says, it's not the finished article yet. So what can I take away as the learns, and what can I, potentially change for that last third of the plan if I need to? And then I think, it ticks all the boxes.
Yes, but I've already got my excuses ready if it goes tits up. No.
It's not what I said.
But no, I a serious point. You're right. Again, you'll come away from that and you'll go, right, that didn't go well, but I've got this period of time to address some of those issues. Or blimey, that's good. I feel strong. There's that side of it. The other side of things as well, it might sound nuts, but full dress rehearsal tomorrow, full Chicago kit tomorrow. I think I mentioned it last week. Socks, pants, gels. I'm putting a caffeine gel in as well. All that kind of stuff to make sure, earphones, sunglasses, everything that arm sleeves, everything that I would start the race with, I'm starting the run with as well. And the best thing is, you're going to love this, Beth. I've got a support crew out down Southend tomorrow because that's where I'm going to do it. I've got the chairman, bless him. He's been out shopping all week because I gave him strict instructions on what bottles of water to get. I gave him strict instructions on what Lucasade Sport to get. It's not Lucasade Sport out there, but I thought that's just the only thing he's going to understand if I send him to Audi. He's got everything. He's got miles marked out. He's been down. He's been actually down there this week to work out exactly where he can park at what time. He's been working it out all week because he'll get bollocking if he's not there on time. So the chairman's in place. I've got everything there to sort of what's not the word? When you do like a dress rehearsal, simulate a race day. Beth, now again, I appreciate you've not done the marathon or trained for one, but when you've done races and stuff like that, have you done like dress rehearsals and things like that?
Yeah, I think, but more in like a race context. So for me, I find it really hard to just go out and like run hard because I love like just running with my mum on a Sunday morning. That's like my long run. So when I've simulated something, it's actually in a race, but a shorter race. So say it was a half, I would probably enter like there's a local 10-mile race, and then I would do my dress rehearsal in that like 10-mile race or in a 10K race. And for me, that gives me the motivation to get out there. But I do like very similar things in that I need to wear the same thing. I need to like have the same like jelly baby routine because I'm that elite. And so on and so forth. So for me, that's how I do it, but I do it to an extent.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, thanks, guys. We're seeing the comments. Keep loading us up on the discussion. Do you have to run a marathon to call yourself a runner? Get your comments into the chat box. We will be going through them when we get onto that in a little bit. So thanks very much. We've seen them. Keep bashing that a lot. It's interesting. Already seen some of the comments on there. Hayden, what about you? and in the past, let's say not at the moment, because obviously you're overcoming certain things. But in the past, have you looked to do like sort of goal-paced efforts in your marathon training? So is that something you've avoided for whatever reason?
No, absolutely. It's the actual heart of all my marathon training. But before I answer it, I'd like to know from you. So you're doing 16 miles. Is the 16 miles your full run, or are you running longer and you got 16 at goal
No,
pace?
16. That's my aim.
Start
So
to finish 16 all at goal
start,
pace.
yeah, I'll warm up.
Yeah.
I'll warm up like because I'm getting old like you. I will do a warm up, but it's basically race start, bang, 16 miles out, bang.
Yeah. So no, I've never done that on that extent. What I like to do is I do like to really get into my legs that target pace, find that target pace, and I would do so many of my runs in the whole 16 weeks. But I usually tend to focus on them sort of midweek. If I have a midweek 10K or 12K, I like to do a lot of that at target pace, just so I'm getting used to that pace. A lot of the time now, I've run at the same sort of target pace. I haven't progressed much for quite a long time. So a lot of time I can run and I'm not even looking at my watch and I know I'm at target pace. I know what it feels like. That's really important to me. I do find on my long runs though, the slightly different thing I do to you is I find it more difficult and more beneficial for me to move up and down the paces within a long run. So I might start off at, let's say, about 20 seconds a kilometre slower than target pace for the first 3 or 4K. Then I like to move up to, I call it an elevated target pace. So I'll go about 10 or 15 seconds above my target pace, but only for about 5 or 6K. And that stretch there that takes you above your target pace, that feels tough and that feels hard. But while you're doing that, I'm thinking to myself, I've got 5K of this, and soon I'm going to be coming back down to a pace of 20 seconds slower, which will be my target pace. And I try and do a long stretch at that. So I'm psychologically telling myself in 3 or 4K time, this is going to get easier. But that easier is my target pace.
Yeah.
So I go out for three. Yeah, shocking the brain. I'm going out for 3 or 4K easy. Then I move up to 4 or 5K above target. Then I'm looking to come back down to my target pace for the next 10, 12K. So rather than just like going straight out of target pace and thinking after 3 or 4K, bloody hell, God, this is hard. I might be able to keep this up for a marathon. So I'm always rewarding myself a target pace run. And that psychologically, that works for me. And the more I do that, the more my legs turn over at that pace. Ultimately, that helps me. But going back to your visual question, absolutely. For me, it is fundamental more than any other thing in my plan to do a massive percentage of it at target pace. Definitely.
I don't think it necessarily applies to, well, I know it doesn't apply to people who are doing their first ones. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, right? It's just all about getting time on feet, and we can go through that another time. It's interesting how you mentioned that, because that's another type of run that I do. And you guys know I do the 3 mile loops, right? So some of the runs we do, it'll be easy, then actually slightly faster than the target goal pace, and then actually we come down to what is closer to goal pace than that sort of easier pace. It's sort of at half, as you say, you test yourself, but then you're giving that reward, but then we go again. So that next 3 miles, so whatever that is and whatever that currency you're dealing, but you're going through it like that. It's quite an interesting way of doing it. And again, the moving through the different paces is a hard effort. You're increasing obviously your heart rate and things like that. It's a tough old one to do, but it's really powerful, and you can really get some good net benefits from it to doing that. Right, before we get onto the main discussion tonight, I wanted to do something. Oh, by the way, again, I've been struggling all week. LDNX, the video drops on Sunday. People are asking on Monday's live stream about what I thought about the race. The video drops on Sunday. Just wait to the end for the reviews. It's classic. It's classic, unfiltered, real. That's the best way to describe it. No bullshit. You're welcome, by the way, LDNX. Right, so there's a big thing going on apparently this weekend somewhere in the world. There's a new marathon major happening. Did you know that, Al?
It's down south somewhere, isn't it? You mean south? Yeah. I saw where sports tours are holding their, I don't know if it's their pre-dinner or post-dinner race. They are on some mega yacht. So I'm going next year just for the dinner.
What's this? I won't be set as I felt now I have 2 sisters. What's this, Gail? Al, did you say there was a question about somewhere?
I had a question, but we've moved on. It's right.
No, go on quickly.
What, the question?
Yeah, because I'm going to come back on.
It's in relation to your full simulation.
Yeah.
If you're doing it properly, I take it you're going to go stand around in the car park for 2 hours wearing a charity jumper or a black plastic bag.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to steal it out of Ben's car.
Okay,
There's so
just
much
so we
crap
know
in his car.
what to look for if anyone's out on Saturday morning.
Oh, well,
I don't want to report you to the police.
This is whether I survived the car journey down, because he ain't cleared it out. There's going to be a load of COVID and STDs in his car, I'm sure. And the thing is, whether I get out of that alive, I'll be able to start my run. But then I'll just stand around in the cold for a bit. I might have 5 weeks. I better warn the chairman. I'll be weeing in his bushes as well, I suppose. Anyway, go back to the point. We've got a marathon major this weekend starting in Sydney, and as you say, it's looking pretty amazing. So I thought, what better way to celebrate having a new marathon major? Bev, can you guess the way we're going to celebrate it?
With a new game.
Yeah! Our world-famous games are back. I thought we would bring a new game because we've got a new world marathon major. Hayden, you look extremely nervous.
No, I'm just... Do you know what? It's really... See, you mentioned the World Marathon Major, and I've got massive FOMO about it, so I'm just being a bit quiet tonight. Love to be out there. I'd love to be out there.
Keep sending me pictures of stuff from out there. But more importantly, are you excited about the game?
Yeah, go on. I'm buzzing for it.
I've spent literally minutes thinking about this, and also the good news is, people. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this live, play along at home. This is brilliant. And if you're on your run, play along on your run. But I literally spent minutes on a new intro for this game. Are you ready for our marathon major quiz to celebrate the new marathon major? Are you ready, team?
Roll the titles.
I'm going on an adventure! I'm going on an adventure!
Marathon majors. It's quiz time, yeah.
Be fair. Beth, you look like you're the only one other than me who enjoyed that.
It was quite catchy.
There you go. Imagine, right? We're on the National Running Show. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And that's playing. Be fair. I think it's Al. You look slightly concerned more than anything else.
Well, I'm just disappointed. I thought it was going to be a picture reveal, and you put the titles of the cities across the pictures, so you already know the answers.
No. It's harder. The quiz is harder. Right, come
on.
Oh,
okay, fine. All right, I'll get back in.
Play along at home. Are you ready? This is all. Each major has a question that you have to answer. No cheating. No chat GPT. Okay. Number one, and I've done these completely out of sync. Or have I? No, I haven't. I'm a genius. No, I have kind of. Tokyo Marathon. You ready? Answer this. Which building has... Put your hands up if you know the answer. Which building has the finish line inside? We need like tumbleweeds going through.
What, the major marathons?
Tokyo Marathon.
Yeah.
What building in Tokyo has the finish line inside it?
None of them. It's outdoors.
You sure?
It's outdoors. You go through an arch.
Well, that is the Tokyo Metropolitan Government building that you go through.
What? No, you've got your chat GTP wrong here.
There's something
not right here.
It's interesting because you do actually finish the Frankfurt Marathon inside the arena. Yeah. So that's why I was asking, just clarifying whether it was majors only.
According to this reliable source, that's what he said.
No, I see them. They built the finish line. You see them the day before. They built the finish line. It's like this. Look, there's this thing in the road right opposite the Emperor's Palace, and they build an archway there. There's no building involved.
It's not started well. Second one, Boston. Shut your face. But pretend it did. Boston. This is interesting. I didn't know this. I hope it's right. What year were women allowed to race from? Yeah, it's a bit strong. This was. So any guesses on, because apparently women were barred from the Boston Marathon for a period of time. So
I'm going to go 1965.
1965.
I'll go 1977.
I'm going to go 84.
72. But there was a lady called Catherine snuck in 1967. Became legendary after the officials tried to drag her off the course. Amazing, isn't it? Right. You ready? Next one. London Marathon. Oh, I haven't got the answer to this one. I forgot to write it down. Let me just get it. I forgot. I wrote these down, but I forgot to get the answers. Hang on.
You'll know the answer. If it's
Imagine
London
this
Mar-
on
if it's London
Mastermind.
Marathon, you've done it 25 times, you'll be fine. You'll know the answer.
No, it's quite a technical one. Let me just put it into this machine here that we have. So London Marathon. Which 3 royal parks do you run past or through in the London Marathon?
Royal Parks.
St James's.
Yeah.
Is Greenwich a royal
Past or
park?
through?
You run through St James's.
I don't know.
Yeah, St James's you run through. I think if Greenwich is a royal park, obviously Greenwich. But I can't think of the third one.
No.
I know
Right.
Royal Parks, but I haven't done London Marathon, so I would just.
St James's Park, Green Park, close to the finish area, Buckingham Palace. Hyde
That's
Park.
a con again.
Hyde Park. You skirt along it apparently on the edge near Knightsbridge.
No, you've done a wrong quiz here. You've had a shocker. There's no way London Marathon goes anywhere near Hyde Park. Come on. You know, he's laughing. Look, you've had a shocker. You've got a dodgy GTP here. It's giving you the wrong answers. It's not high. Can't go nowhere near high. And you can't say Green Park and St
Shut up.
James's.
Just pretend GPT's right. You can't be saying these things. Right. You ready? Because this, it's going to be correct.
In Chris's defence, if you're going past Buck House, how close do you get?
Yeah. See? That's what I'm saying, chap. What are you talking about?
Trying to help you out here, Chris.
Cheers, mate. Berlin Marathon. How many finishers finished the first Berlin Marathon, according to AI? Should have had a caveat to this, shouldn't it?
I'm going to go 300.
Yeah, it's not many.
Not many.
I'll
57.
go 4, 5, 6 because it's a nice number.
4, 5, 6. In 1974, apparently, according to a well-designed and thought-through AI system, there are plenty available. 244 finishers, apparently. It's not a lot, is it, really, when you think about it? 1974 as well. Right. Chicago Marathon. What forced organisers to stop that in 2007?
I'm going to go heat.
Right.
Hurricane.
Beth?
I'll go monsoon because we've had every sort of weather.
It was the heat. Yeah, he's right. Again, I don't know whether this is true or not, but apparently in 2007, they had to stop the race mid-run for the first time ever, telling thousands of runners to walk to the finish because of the heat.
And I've got a feeling Mr. Kafuzi was running it that year. I remember hearing a story about him doing that. And they took people, I think if you was up to about 2.5 hours, you weren't at a cut-off point, they just cut it off and they just stopped it. Stopped the whole marathon.
Okay, again, I can't categorically confirm this is true. But the New York City Marathon in 1976 changed course, apparently, to include all the 5 boroughs, right? Oh, by the way, have you seen that film about the gangs of New York? It's a good film. But before that, what was the course? Anybody take a care to guess? What was the course? Apparently. Hayden?
I'll have a rough guess of around Manhattan, Central Park.
Okay. Coach Al?
Yeah, laps around Central Park's the obvious answer, but it's
Beth?
probably
What they said.
It's true. According to a good source, reliable source, the race expanded from Central Park Loops, apparently. Before that, it was Central Park Loops. Imagine running around that because that's quite up and down out there.
Oh,
You know what I mean? I wouldn't fancy that. Lastly, because it's this weekend, Sydney Marathon. What event has previously been? What event has used this year's route before, and in what year? Sydney Marathon.
got to
What
be
event?
2000 Olympics, isn't it?
Hayden?
I was going to say 2000 Olympics, but an event like walking marathon or something.
Beth?
Yeah, some sort of international competitive elite sport.
Al was correct. In 2000, the marathon course doubled as the Olympic marathon, with the finish inside the Sydney Olympic Stadium in front of 100,000 cheering fans. Wow, what a great quiz. And for that, you get to see this again.
True.
Wrong one.
I'm going on an adventure. I'm going on an adventure. Marathon majors. It's quiz time, yeah.
just remember that this podcast was nominated for one of the biggest awards in 2025. We lost to the Overreach or whatever you call it, the Overtap or whatever they're called, but we was only just beaten, and you can see why we were beaten. Anyway, only just.
Can I ask a question? See if any of you know, Al might know. In London, 2012, the Olympics, was the marathon run on the London Marathon course? We don't know. Just a question.
I think they finished. I don't know, because I don't think they finished in their stadium, did they?
Who's clicking a pen?
The mile.
Who's clicking a pen? Al, you clicking a pen?
No, not me.
No, it's not me.
Beth. It's got to be Beth.
I'm not doing anything. I'm innocent, mate.
Is it me? It might be me. Anyway, right. So, marathons. Do you have to run one to be a runner? Now, thanks very much, by the way, for the comments about our award-winning quiz, which I think could have National Running Show written all over it. Firstly, I'm just going to state some of what people's things are, okay? So the question is, do you have to run a marathon to be a runner? No, they're just looking forward to shakeout run. Chris says, if you run... wait, hang on, I can't get it up. There we go. If you run any distance, you're a runner. Otherwise, why stop? I thought was quite interesting. Inga Britson has never run a marathon, but he's one of the greatest runners in his own mind. Anyone who can complete week one of Catch to 5K is a runner. What else have we got here? They're just loving the quiz, really. So it's an interesting thing. So look, listen to this. So London Marathon 2025 had a record 840,000 applications, right? That's the year before, apparently, again, reliable sources on this podcast, 578,000. So massive, massive uptake in terms of applications, yeah? In Germany, the 15 biggest marathons grew by 20% in 2024, with finishes topping 100,000 for the first time, 15 years. Global running participation, all distances, has now surpassed pre-pandemic 2019 levels. Parkrun, obviously, as we know, has gone nuts and has expanded locations. It's now in 23 countries and maybe more. And 5K races, apparently, according to ChatGPT, still dominate. They now make up 60% of all race finishes worldwide, which I thought was interesting. But I guess some of that's parkrun, I guess. I don't know whether they classify races. But the thing is, right, the reason I thought we'd talk about this week is because you're seeing this week all over your social medias. Obviously, everybody's in Sydney influencing and all that sort of stuff. You see a lot of people... I don't know, maybe because it's just my feed, but they run in at least 2 or 3 marathons a day because it's great content, and all that sort of stuff. And to get free stuff, you've got to run marathons. It's that new thing, and I think, and on a serious point, I genuinely think there is a pandemic out there to a degree about this like mentality about you've got to try and keep like beating everybody and doing more and doing this and doing that and all that sort of stuff. And you see it, didn't you? Like everybody's signing up for this marathon, this world major, and all these kind of things. And I think it puts a lot of pressure on some people, not necessarily whether you do it, don't. Oh yeah, they're doing it. I can do it. I'm going to do it. And oh, you've not run a marathon. Oh right, yeah, I'm running 10 like this month. All that sort of stuff. I think it's actually quite negative in a way. Outside, it can put a negative spin and put a lot of people under pressure that don't need to be under pressure. But there is the other side of things is like, it is a good test, right? It does require some commitment and discipline, right? So it's not a bad thing. And I think it's a massive sense of achievement as well, right? So there's obviously benefits to it, but I don't know. It's a funny thing, isn't it? I don't know whether... Obviously, we know what the right answer is. That's absolutely bloody bollocks, like in terms of as a statement. But are we now in a period of time where, people may look down on you because you haven't run a marathon? I don't know. Beth, you've not run a marathon. What's your thoughts on all this?
I kind of agree with Chris in the comments. If you run any distance, you're a runner. If you do parkrun, you're a runner. If you do a 10K, you're a runner. You don't need to achieve or run a marathon to be able to call yourself or to reach that elite status of being a runner. I think that social media has a big part to play in it all, because you constantly see feeds of people pushing themselves, doing more. And once you get into that running circle, it feels like it's always like the next goal. You're always trying to achieve something. Whereas I've kind of got to that point where, like, I've got various things going on with my body, with legs and all sorts. And it's like, I just need to be happy where I am. I don't need to push for anything else. But I'm still a runner and I haven't run a marathon.
But do you feel, Beth, do you feel in a way, do you feel a bit pressured? The fact that you're part of a big running community, you're doing the podcast here, at any point, have you ever thought to yourself, "Do you know what, I really feel like I should run a marathon, or people expect a marathon of me"?
Yeah, I think so. Because I even tell myself that. I'm like, I want to run a marathon before I'm 30. And I'm like, I've had loads of stuff going on recently. And I'm kind of thinking, hang on a minute, like, my health's more important. And so it's time to just take a step back and just enjoy where I am. And I'm lucky enough to run at a decent speed. I work hard for it. But then it's almost like, because you can do a 5K in 20 minutes, for example, or you should be able to do a marathon, no problem. And it doesn't necessarily work like that. There's people that like are amazing marathon runners that maybe do a 5K in like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. It really doesn't matter. But they're marathon runners. I'm a 5K, 10K, half marathon runner. And that's totally cool.
It's interesting, Beth. You say that. Paula Radcliffe, as we know, does what really should be like. We should try and do something similar, because her podcast is amazing, right? When you compare it, she doesn't have this whole crap coming up that Hayden do going on events. But anyway, she had Mo Farah, and he was saying about how he struggled going to the marathon distance, like really struggled with it. Just basically couldn't handle it. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think he did too bad, but he said, you know, it was a real struggle for him, that distance. And you do see that, you know, people struggle with the distance. It's a bloody long way, but it's also the sheer volume of training. Like this week, 50 miles plus a 16-mile goal run on Saturday. It's mental, you know, and there's people doing a ton load more than me.
Yeah.
It's a massive commitment. And I think, as you say, Bev, social media, that's the negative side of it, in terms of, and I just wonder, you know, I mean, some people like just don't care, right? They just don't compare themselves. But a lot of people do look at that, and it's interesting what you say about. I think, Hayden, what about you? Where are you on this?
Yeah, and actually, you picked about Mo Farah. I think the same would apply to Eilish McColgan. No one can deny she's an absolute incredible runner.
Unbelievable.
I feel like, because of her mum and everything else, I feel like she's felt the pressure to run a marathon for years now. And obviously at London this year, she debuted, didn't she? And in real terms of it, from our perspective, she's done incredible. I think for myself, she didn't feel like she performed well enough. And I think people are thinking she's an Olympic champion, whatever she is, a European champion at 10,000 metres. She wins a Great North Run. I should probably win London Marathon. It's a complete different ballgame, isn't it? It's a different thing. But it is difficult as well, because if I relate back to something that you like, Chris, actually, look at Formula One. So if you're a Formula 3 race car driver, do you sit there in Formula 3 and just say, that's me as my career? Or are you always thinking you want to be a Formula 1 driver? It's difficult. I'm not saying you should do that, but I always feel as though whatever you're doing, whatever sport you're at, sometimes you want to take it to the next level. Some people don't. Some people got no interest. It makes no difference to them. But there's always something inside someone. But that doesn't mean, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean you're not a runner because you don't feel like you do want to go up to that, or you don't go up to it, or you're nervous to go up to it. Doesn't mean you're not a runner. That's a ridiculous statement, really. But I do understand why people have that marathon as almost the pinnacle. And like Beth saying, you're already talking about by the age of 30, you want to do a marathon. It's almost like, what? Why are you even thinking about a marathon now? You're a fantastic runner. You're a fantastic 5K runner. You're enjoying your run. You're doing loads. What is it inside you that's thinking, I'm going to do a marathon before I'm 30? And that's the question we need to overcome. We've all got that in it.
What is that?
What is it? I think it's like partly expectation that we kind of talked about, but it's kind of like, I don't want to put it under it's what people do bracket, but it's what you see. It's like, as soon as someone's done a half, it's like, oh, you can do a marathon now. It's that like, oh, I should do it. And should you really do it? Because you should do it. And I'm totally for people like doing it because they want to do it and because that's their next aim and their next goal. but that should be like come from within, not come from externally. And if it comes from within and you have the capacity, you have the routine, the structure, the people behind you to do it, then absolutely go for it and go smash it. I think for me, I had that in the back of my mind for absolutely years. And I've got to the point now where I'm like, I don't really need to do it anymore. I'll do it if I want to do it. But actually, there's things more important to me at this point in time. And like my health, my body, and just enjoying running is one of them. So it's kind of gone off my radar. And I'm just going to plod along, doing what I enjoy doing. And then if I ever fancy it, then I'll do it. But until then, I'll just enjoy the ride.
Where are you with all this?
Like everyone else, in some respects, it is a daft question, but I think the question arises because of one of the successes, benefits, advantages. It's a very accessible sport. It's a very accessible pastime, and therefore, pretty much everyone can run because you've done it at an earlier age. So, in that sense, why as a community do we even have to have the conversation about what constitutes a runner? I don't think there's any other sport. Take soccer. You can go, if you can't do 100 keepy uppies, you're not a soccer player. You wouldn't even have that conversation, would you? But we come round to I run walk. I do ratios of 3 to 1. So am I a runner because I spend 25% of my time walking? We shouldn't even tolerate those questions. They shouldn't even be out there.
True.
You're setting yourself the goal, whatever that distance, whatever that pace, and that's what we should be celebrating. That personal commitment and the personal achievement, and that's why I run marathons now. It's not for the times; it's because I know it's going to give me some discipline for 16 weeks. If I don't, I ease off and I don't do it, and I kind of end up, struggling mentally and beating myself up. So a nice little plan for a marathon keeps me occupied for the best part of the year.
Yeah, as like I said, it's that commitment and discipline, isn't it? I'm the same with you, Al. If I'm not training for a marathon, I don't know what I'll do with myself. I'll go and get myself into all sorts of trouble. I just start sitting there, probably eat some crisps. But
you could train for a half marathon, to answer that question.
Yeah, but I've got no interest in training for a half marathon. No, because I don't think mentally, I don't think it would tax me enough. Physically, 100%, because a half marathon training block, 10K training block, 5K training block, brutal, because you're hitting them hard. Yeah, but I like long runs. Yeah, I like that sort of the sort of sickness that you get in your own brain when you're out there at mile 16 and you still got 4 miles left. I love that. You ask the boys. I like the ones that are really bad on paper. They're just like, this is going to be absolutely awful. They're the ones I enjoy the most because it is that mental toughness. I spoke about it, what was it, a few weeks ago, where I said to you, I had a plan and it was to do a certain amount of goalpost work. That didn't happen. So it was all about getting on the struggle bus, sorry. And I knew that I was in for a tough 6 miles, but I had to cope with that mentally. You don't necessarily get that from sort of some other distances. And yeah, you can, again, you're doing repeats on the track and things like that. You are still like mentally like having to like go through hell. But I don't know. For me, it's the appeal over that longer distance to test myself that I get something out of.
I think I've switched mine now because I know that I can't necessarily do as long as I want to at the moment, but I've switched it to kind of like, I guess more speed stuff. So instead of thinking how far can I go, I'm switching it to how fast can I go. So it's kind of like a different mindset. It's still a goal, but it's a goal in a different way. So it's like, how fast can I do this 5K? Where can I do this 10K? And can I get it like 40 minutes? Like, it's all that mindset shift helps me psychologically when I'm not potentially doing as far a distance. You're still achieving something.
Oh, absolutely. Al, have you seen this?
Yeah, so I want to ask, sorry, YouTube user, I don't know who you are, and I'm just curious to know, you've ran for 30 years, give or take, before you decided to sign up for your first marathon in 2009. So what was it that made you kind of go, now's the time to run a marathon. 30 years is a long time practicing. So just curious to know, what was it? Was it because they're more accessible, or did you get bitten by watching the London Marathon or the majors?
Well, I think that's a good point, though, especially in this country. I would say one thing I think that fuels a lot of people's desire to run marathons is because the London Marathon obviously captivates the general public. It gets a lot of, and rightly so, it gets a lot of airtime. The stories that are surround it, the charities and everything that's involved with it. You can't help but feel inspired by what happens on the marathon day, right? And I think that bug does catch a lot of us. Okay, so I think as Brits, I think that's definitely an element of that we, so many of us see the London Marathon. You go, you know what? That looks bloody awful, but I just fancy doing that, or I want to raise money for charity, and then you get the bug. I think some of that is. Would you say, Hayden, that's a fair point over here?
Absolutely, it's quite fun actually. So Dennis is in the comments. Dennis won't mind me saying, Dennis is one of the older members of the club. That is, but he is an incredible
younger than you.
Bit, yeah. And he was down at one of our satellite sessions recently. And he was telling me about, I think it was his first London Marathon. I'm pretty sure it was 1990. It was 93 or 95. And something clicked in my brain. I thought, that really rings a bell. I went on my phone, was going through my pictures. And I actually run a mini marathon, done it for 3 years in a row. One of them was the same year Dennis done his first full marathon. And I remember running that mini marathon, but still looking around at everyone else doing the main marathon thinking, oh my God. And I wasn't even, running wasn't my thing. I was a swimmer. And I was always like, I would love to be part of that. That just seeing them people going by, they used to play, they don't do it so much anymore actually. The music used to be playing like all the time up there. The atmosphere, everything about it was just took your breath away. And even in, like before I started done my London Marathon, say about 8-9 years ago, I remember going up there to watch, and that emotion, all that Tower Bridge, and you feel it inside you. You feel like you're gonna cry or something. You think this is ridiculous from watching people, and you think I want to be part of that. But don't get me wrong, that doesn't have to be a marathon. Honestly, Great North Runs next weekend.
Oh.
You get that feel there. That being I remember being in the pens just after the Queen passed away. And I remember that was emotional. You felt that when you time it right with the red arrows up on the Time Bridge and that, things like that. And I think emotion has a massive part to play in everything. And I think that is what it's that hook, isn't it, that gets you, the line that comes out that gets you to get wound in for it. And you think, you know what, I can do this. I'm up for this. And that becomes a challenge. And I think once you've done it and you experience it, there's not many that say, right, that's it, I'm done, one and done. You want more.
You don't get it. Actually, it's a bit of a curveball, that, and that's a good point, actually. I'm not sure of many other races in this country that give like what London Marathon, but I have to say, I think you're bang on with the Great North Run. It is that other race, and it's funny because I posted that Hayden actually sent me, but a picture of my first Great North Run. I posted it on Insta, and that also is one race where you think you see it, and I saw I can't remember who it was now, but someone do it, and it was like, that looks. I saw it on the TV. You get the music, and the BBC coverage and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, you know what, I fancy doing that. That seems like I could do that, and I think that's. Is there any other race? And then maybe in this country, I'd be interested in anybody else's comments on this, that you think hooks people as much as maybe the Great North Run or the London Marathon. Al, any other races you've done you feel hook people in like those two?
No, I genuinely don't think they do. There are big races, there's big crowds, but as you said, it's that emotional connection. And I think whether it's because there's so many stories happening around you in terms of the fundraising, the people that have signed up didn't think they could do it, and getting to the start line is a massive achievement. I don't think other races really tap into it the same way London do. There's something special about the way London manages to captivate that and make it so accessible, hence why nearly 1 million people.
Apply. I think I go back to what Hayes you said about the music. Definitely, as someone young, on the TV, was the theme tune.
I loved it
for the London Marathon and the theme tune for the Great North Run. When they both come on, like BBC Sport, whatever, not Grandstand, whatever it was, BBC, whatever channel was showing it, and it would just be something that would get my attention.
I hear
Every year.
the music from Rocky, and I want to start fighting. I think that's just human nature. You hear that Rocky theme, and now you start relaxing the shoulders. I love it.
That's quite aggressive.
It could be a new game. Guess the theme tune.
What music I could play to Hayden and what reaction I'm going to get? I think it's brilliant. I think I'm now we could bring that to the National Running Show. We could blindfold him, play a theme tune, and see what he does. He might jump into the crowd and chin someone, or he may go into the crowd and kiss someone. You don't know, do you?
It's emotion, and sport brings out emotion. We know it. You watch the Olympics, opening ceremony, closing ceremony, that emotion, anything that grips you. You watch something on telly, an event, you think, I wouldn't mind giving that a go. And I think that's running. Running is the one thing you watch on telly, an event, and you think, I could actually do that. Whereas you might watch a Champions League final, and if you support a team and you hear the Champions League sound and the music and that, and you think, you get really up for it, and you've got them shivers and them tingles. But ultimately, you're thinking, I'm never going to be playing like in any sort of event like this. But London Marathon, you can see it and you get that feeling. Before you know it, next year, you're out there running on them roads, and people at home watching you thinking, wow, look at that.
Nah, that is true. What's this? But there you go. This is Mick. I've also got a question, by the way. Louis, we'll answer that question before we go, because we're sort of finished wrapping this up. But Mick said he's run 3 marathons and cried at the start on all of them, but the GNR, the Great North Run, is a different level of emotions for me. Yeah, it's I always say, and it's interesting because we're heading there next week. Yeah. By the way, we're not around next week. We've got a great pre-record with a nutritionist. Tune in for that on Friday at 7:00. No, so actually, I think it comes out normal time, like midnight, or whatever. But the podcast will be out on Friday, and the video podcast will be out as well. But there is something about, as I've said a million times, for me, I think it's the people, right? And something happens up there on Great North Run Day. It was the same to a degree with Blade and Races as well, and how Newcastle, as a sport-loving place, they really, really, and I suppose Hayden, I mean, you could probably say, but is the fact is like kind of what Boston, like people just get behind running, get behind the event that whole weekend, and Newcastle definitely comes out for the Great North Run. I'm not saying London doesn't, because it's like on another level, but there's just something quite niche and unique about the Great North Run, and I don't know what it is. I've done it for Christ knows how many years. There's still something unique about the Great North Run that I am just addicted to. But if you're there this year and you're thinking about it.
Yeah, there on Saturday. I'm not running on Sunday, but I'll be there on Saturday.
She's coming to the world's greatest shakeout run. It's going to be epic and slightly chaotic.
And to be fair, the Great North Run, I think it has to have something about it to keep going back, because if we're all really, really honest about it, the course isn't great.
That's terrible.
But we all love it. This is the thing. So there is something there.
It's awful. You're just running up basically a dual carriageway up a hill and then down a hill. It's on paper, it's terrible, but because of the people and the bands and the support and the other runners and everything that goes on, it's just brilliant. And there's no way you can shy away from it. It's just fantastic. But if you ran that route any other weekend, you go, no, thanks very much. That's a 3 out of 10 at best. And by the way, this is in the worst place to finish in the world, because I've now got to get back to Newcastle. You would do it, wouldn't you? You just moan about it, but it's brilliant. So, Al, look, just wrap us up on it. Any final thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, I'm glad the conversation got here, because I don't like GNR. I've done it twice. I'm not sure I will be back. There may be occasions that will drag me back. I find the race not very interesting. It's very expensive. I'm going away this next weekend, and we're going to have a weekend in a foreign country and still come back with oodles of cash compared to what we would have spent in GNR.
Fair point. Yeah,
so, it doesn't really do it for me. So sorry, guys.
Sorry, Chris, I'd say one thing. Yeah. There's a few people that have said this that I know how you done it last year. You done it the year before, so this doesn't really apply to you. There's a few people done it last year, and they've said the same lines as you. There's 2 big things that happened last year that made it not as good. One, the weather was crap. The weather was horrible last year. It was damp and there was rain everywhere. It got wet. And the second thing was they're doing work on the Tyne Bridge. I'm hoping that's finished. There was no red arrows. The Tyne Bridge, there was no spectators on it at all. So you went up onto it and there was like billboards and it was quiet, wasn't it? It was a bit eerie, a bit like it wasn't the same. Whereas usually you get up onto that bridge and that's when you feel it. And as you say, if you do time the
and it is funny, actually, and you say that, and I think the year before, sadly, we'd lost the Queen as well. So it's due a big one. And I think we spoke about it in this, with running being at this height of its popularity that it is, I think, it's going to be, as I say, Eilish is there. I think this year is going to be on another level. I know that the brands are really stepping up again. Obviously they're pumping money into it, big sponsors, all this sort of stuff. So I think that's going to be, it's going to be epic. I really, I'm really looking forward to it. But I wanted, because I said I'd answer it, just to finish on this, because some people are going to do the Great North Run. They've been training for it for 12 weeks. And then how do you deal with the post-race depression? Because it does come. So just to finish off the show, anybody who's doing the Great North Run next week and on Monday, you sit down, you look at your medal and you go, now what? Beth, give Louis one piece of advice.
Give yourself time and reflect on what you've actually done, because it's epic.
Okay. Al?
Yeah, the risk is you sign up for your next one. That's what I did.
Just keep going.
Yeah. Just push it down the road. Push that depression down the road.
Kick that can down that road. Yeah. Hayden?
I was going to say our one, but I would go with, I'll tell you what, so that's on the Sunday. Make sure you get yourself down to Parkrun on the Saturday and get involved and put all that training into them legs over the 5K and realise how much you've come on as a runner. And then you'll get that mojo back with other people around.
That's a good shout. I was going to say, get along to a 40 Run Satellite Club. There's over 50 of them across the whole country, from Carlisle with Beth all the way down to Exeter. They're free. You're welcome to join them. But yeah, get yourself along to a local running group. Doesn't have to be 40 rounds. Obviously, we'd love to have you along, but yeah, get along to a local run group and start meet people, and maybe you were a part of it and you've done the race, but get back involved in that community aspect and that side of things. I think that always helps as well. That social connection, all that sort of stuff. Definitely ways to go. Can anyone hear Bud's outside?
Yep.
He's going absolutely mental. I guarantee there's nothing out there.
Yeah, pizza delivered, I bet.
Could be. No, I've got pasta because I can't. Again, dry run for the race. I'm having pasta tonight. I had plain pasta, salt, pepper, bit of butter. Done. That's it. That's me sorted. I won't have breakfast tomorrow. That's the only thing I'm going to do differently. I'll run that staffed. That's the only difference that I would do. But I fuel every long run normally anyway, so it's not like it's something different. So, team, where are we tomorrow? I'm guessing you lot have park running somewhere. I don't know whether that's the right way to say. Al, firstly, what country are you in?
Well, believe it or not, I'm 20 minutes down the road. It was always the plan to stay local, and I'm hitting Seaford Beach because I got a long swim on Sunday. So I don't want to put too much out there tomorrow. Although having not run today, I probably do need to do a couple of back-to-back park runs tomorrow to get the miles up. Because I'm also running Copenhagen Marathon in 2 weeks.
Copenhagen half.
Sorry, yeah, half. I'm just going back to my glory days, Copenhagen Marathon. I wish it was. Yeah. So local park run, big long swim down at Sea Lanes on Sunday.
Excellent. Beth?
We're local this week at Talking Tarn, but then the week after we'll be over in Newcastle. So a few weeks tourism after that.
There you go. Hayden, what are you doing?
I've got a 20 miler tomorrow, a long run on plans, and I am going to incorporate Bushy Park Run because one of our Surrey guys has his 100th park run tomorrow. So I'll be down at Bushy, but it'll be in the middle. Literally, I'm trying to get that timing right where you get to park run so you're not standing around too long. 3 or 4 minutes is like maximum for me. Once I go past that, then I start seizing up.
It's a bit of one. I try and I'm like you. If we do a park run sandwich, we try and like time it quick wee. Down to the start, let's go, sort of thing. And it's quite hard. It's harder to get the timing right than it is to do the mileage, I think.
Well, Bushy's even worse, obviously, because of the finish line. You get to the finish, you want to just shoot off and finish your mileage, but you could be queuing up for bloody 7 or 8 minutes.
Don't you finish with your 20 miles being at the end?
I would like to tomorrow, but we have issues because this is what happens when your wife marathon trains as well. So we're both going to go over to park run. So only one of us can run there. Normally I'd run there, get the 20 miles in and finish at park run. But that is what Louise is doing tomorrow. So it's my turn to drive there, do a bit of running there, and I'll run home. So
mate, you're right. She gets 100% priority. 100%.
She gets priority.
Yeah, all the time. Definitely. Right, team. I think that's it. And it's just a bit of a reminder to everybody. We're not here next week. If you are in Newcastle, plan to go shopping in Newcastle, avoid it between 11:30. Actually, smart to go in 11:30 and 2 o'clock. give people a massive window of opportunity there. I'd avoid Newcastle Town Centre for that period of time. You've been warned, so that's on you. We hope to see loads of you next week. We have a big photo again at 9 o'clock on Claremont Road Avenue. I can never remember which one it is, but by Exhibition Park. Come along to that. Don't be on your own, please, on race day. Again, you don't have to be a club member. You don't have to be Hayden's mate. We want you there, all right? We don't want anybody on their own. We'll pair you up with somebody in your wave. So when you're standing around for 45 minutes pretending to do that warm-up that you're not properly doing, you can be with somebody looking like a helmet while you do it. It's really important that you come along to that, okay? Don't be on your own. If you're not going to make the shakeout run, but you get up there, pinch later, come along to the bar. Yeah, hang out. Again, don't be on your own up in Newcastle. We're all there for you, okay? So just make sure you're not on your own. We're really looking forward to it. We'll be then live the week after. We're going to pick that apart. I don't know what we're going to be talking about then and there, but yeah. So, the other thing as well, if for whatever reason National Running Show tickets go on sale between now and when I see you next, I just strongly recommend everybody to get one for the Saturday. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Can't say any more than that because I will get shot. Oh, we'll probably have a big club announcement next week as well, won't we, Hayden?
We would definitely have a big club announcement.
We've got an email about that today, didn't we? So I've got to read that email, not delete it. But there will be a big club announcement next week as well. So watch out for that one. It's it's just mental. But yeah, that's it, team. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for the team for joining me. Have fun. Behave yourselves this weekend. And we shall see you all later.